These were made in the night. No one saw who stitched them. No one heard a hammer. No one turned a key. Only the shoes, waiting. He was a good man, poor through no fault of his own. His hands were steady, though his tools were worn. Leather was costly, and shoes were all he made. And now there was very little leather left. He had leather for only one pair of shoes, only enough. He measured twice, steady hands, steady breath. He laid the pieces in order, careful not to waste a single edge. In the morning, he would sew them and hoped it would be enough. He slept with a clear conscience. The day had been heavy. He had met it with steady hands. The leather lay in order upon the table. No regret in the room, only moonlight. The leather waited for morning, and for the first time in many nights, so did tomorrow. Morning came quietly. He rose, ready for another long day. But something had changed. The leather he had left behind was gone. On the table in the morning light, a pair of shoes, finished, perfectly stitched. He had not made them, and yet they were there. Morning reveals what the night has done. The shoes stand finished, warm in color, true in form. Every seam in its place. He studies them in silence. He does not claim them. He only sees what has been given. Morning brought something new. The shoes had sold. Coins lay on the table. For the first time in a long while, the leather did not feel like a burden. Not wealth, not yet, but enough. Enough to begin again. He was paid more than usual. The shoes were admired, turned in the light, smiled at. Coins gathered in his hand. Not wealth, not yet. The weight felt different. He held it a moment longer. He could try again. He bought enough leather for more shoes. That evening he sat by the table and laid the pieces, carefully, in order. When all was ready, he looked once more and went to sleep. He cut 2 pairs of leather, but woke to more. By morning, both pairs were finished, every stitch exact, every shape precise, and before long there was enough for 4 more. Something was changing now, not just his fortune, his certainty. On the floor beside the spool, a small needle, not his own. He turned it in his hand. He was no longer alone. It was happening again. He cut the leather carefully, laid the pieces out, and went to sleep. By morning, the shoes were finished. Exact, ready, waiting. Night after night, the same. The pattern held. Almost too certain. He stood in the quiet and wondered, who was helping him? He was no longer afraid. Before long, the shop felt different, brighter, fuller again. Work lined the shelves, light filled the room. The long nights had changed something in him. He stood a little steadier now, a little surer, and at last he decided to ask the question. The old shoemaker finally asked the question. One evening, as the light settled low in the shop, he turned to his wife. "I wonder who is helping us." The work was steady now. The fear was gone. But the mystery remained. So together, they decided to find out. They waited in the dark. A candle burned low in the shop. They did not speak. They did not move. They waited. The night held still, and then, at midnight, something wonderful happened. At midnight they came, 2 little men, barefoot, small, and quick. They set to work at once, stitch by stitch, tap by tap, as if they had done this 100 times. And from that night on, all went well for the shoemaker. everything began to prosper.